Hey everyone, it's Nayo, and welcome back to another one of my little thought tidbits. And today I actually have been placed on my heart for a couple of days now to talk about forgiveness and just the complete and total healing power that forgiveness possesses. And a lot of times when we are going through different situations in our lives, it can be very, very hard to forgive, whether that be forgiving ourselves or forgiving that person or forgiving the situation, whatever it may be. I would say that forgiveness, in if not all cases, would be the basis for beginning the healing process of whatever the situation may have been, whatever the trauma may have been, right? We spend a lot of our days worrying, right? Like if we're a typical worrier, we're going to spend a lot of our days worrying about things. We're going to spend a lot of our time thinking to the past, or thinking to the past, thinking to the future, or thinking about what somebody did or didn't do to us, for us, whatever it may be. Thinking about something that we should have done differently, that we should have done, should not have done, whatever it may be, right? We spend a lot of our days now. This is a we being a blanket statement because this doesn't obviously apply to everybody, but in many cases, and something that I especially have dealt with in the past, was spending time existing in the past mentally, emotionally, and thought wise, trying to recount all the different negative situations, and instead of trying to just take the time to forgive and learn from the situations, I was ruminating on them for countless cycles and cycles and cycles. And let's just say hypothetically, you were supposed to go out with friends. You didn't end up making it out because you fell asleep. And so you didn't end up telling your friends that you couldn't make it. This is a very surface level example, I know. And the next day, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're texting them, you're apologizing about everything, and you're like, I couldn't make it, blah, blah, blah. In that moment, you just typically, it should just be like, okay, like, I messed up, I fell asleep, I didn't let them know, I didn't wake myself up. It's cool. You know what I mean? I'm just going to apologize and move forward. Apologize genuinely and move forward. The other scenario to this could be, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm a terrible person. I didn't blah, 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 blah. Now you're bringing in these I am statements of saying I am a terrible person, when in reality, you simply fell asleep, which meant that your body probably needed you to sleep. And that's it. All you can really do is apologize very genuinely in that to the next day to your friends, and try better next time. Next time that they go out, if you know that perhaps you're a little bit too tired, just say, you know what, I might cash in this time, not going to make it, or set an alarm clock for yourself to wake up, to go and get ready, or to at least set an alarm clock to send them a response by a certain time. A lot of the times when we do things in the past and maybe we regret them, there's always going to be a lesson. So beginning with situations and how we're going to deal with them and process them, we should see life as one gigantic lesson, one big old classroom, right? And being able to release a lot of the emotions and anything else that we may be feeling that accompany these situations that we may experience throughout life, forgiveness is one that really helps us to release and let go very genuinely on a deep, energetic, and spiritual level. When we, like for example, for the sample that I gave, we don't want to get caught up in this thought loop that we're a terrible communicator, that we're a terrible person, that we're all these different things. No, we don't want to begin to shame ourselves into thinking that we're not a good person because we forgot to let them know. No, the reality situation is that yes, we forgot. And one, can we forgive ourselves and just chuckle about it a little bit and pledge to just be better in the future? Pledge to do our best, to do your best, and to always be gentle with yourself and kind throughout this process. A lot of the things that we go through in life, they are big lessons, and they may genuinely require for us to do consistent introspection and life reviews to understand where we might need to change how we operate, where we might need to change how we speak, how we think to ourselves, how we express ourselves to others, meaning how we speak, but also just how we are living our lives and why we're doing the things that we're doing. Again, this is getting back to a video I made not too long ago talking about know what you want and why it's important to know what you want and why it's important to know the why behind what you want. I mean, all of this matters. So at the end of the day, I really just am giving this simple example and having this tidbit to say, forgive yourself always. And don't just forgive yourself and go back and do the same thing that you did that warranted a forgiveness. No. Forgive yourself, learn, grow, and move on. Release. Do not keep yourself trapped in negative thought cycles. If you have in the past, that is okay. Simply forgive yourself and move forward. Do not shame yourself into saying, oh, I'm never going to get better. Because if you believe that deep down, then you won't. But if you believe deep down that you want to get better, but you're telling yourself that you're never going to get better, now that's conflicting and you won't. But instead, take the opportunity to learn from your past experiences, learn from things that you didn't like how you did them, or even how somebody else did them, and just simply forgive. Know that when we are forgiving, it's not really just for the other person. It's really for ourselves, because forgiveness is the beginning of letting go. When you're forgiving someone, no, you don't have to forget the situation, but you can let go of that energy that is associated with that circumstance. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. And weigh your decisions, weigh your relationships, weigh whatever it is. It is important to learn lessons from past experiences, whether or not it be relationships of any dynamic, places that you've been to before, decisions that you've made. It is important to view life in a way in which it is meant to teach you lessons to help you grow into your greatest and highest good, into your greatest and highest being, connecting you to your most raw and divine form through the practice of forgiveness, which is a very energetic experience. It's a very thought-based, emotion-based, spiritual-based, higher power-based, however you want to explain it. It's a holistic experience to really help you start somewhere. So I know my tidbits is kind of all over the place right now, but I really just want to charge everyone to, one, keep it real with yourself all the time. There is no reason to not keep it real with yourself. Always keep it real with yourself and keep it real with other people. When we are not speaking our truth, we are not living authentically, and that's not us being ourselves. And if you've ever been in a situation where you haven't been yourself, you haven't spoken your truth, you didn't say the thing that you needed to say to your partner at that moment in time, so now it's harboring in the back of your head, and oh my God, you feel like you're going to explode, oh my God, relax. It's okay. Start with first forgiving yourself. First, acknowledge it. So you've acknowledged it, right? You identify, acknowledge it, then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not saying it at that time. And it's okay to say it now. It's okay to come back and revisit what you need to in order to release the energy blockage from your throat chakra, which then allows you to begin to release the blockages from all of your other chakras, all of your chakras being energy centers, right? So at the end of the day, don't shame yourself into being a bad person. Now, if you genuinely feel like you are a bad person, then that is going to take you to do a life review, some introspection, and understand why you are here. And then also understand, where do you want to be? If you feel like you're a bad person and you don't want to be a bad person, then you have a lot of work to go through. You have a lot of work to do. And that work is fine. That work is okay. You can seek help while you're doing that work, or you can just seek spiritual assistance while you're doing that work, or you can simply be with yourself while you're doing that work. But know that it is important to always be kind to yourself and always forgive yourself for the things that you have done, whether or not to yourself or to other people, or things that you haven't done that maybe you should have. Forgive yourself very genuinely. Don't forgive it and just walk away and do it again. Forgive yourself. Fill it within your heart. Fill that new space with love and gratitude. That will help to continue to push a lot of these doubts and these fears and these negative thought patterns out. If you're consistently forgiving and you're consistently filling that space with love and compassion and gratitude. And when you feel a negative thought or a negative assumption coming along, all you have to do is push it away and replace it with that love and that gratitude. I could give you mantras to say for yourself, but a lot of the times, a lot of the best mantras that serve you the greatest are the ones that come from within. So I always recommend meditation. If you find it hard to forgive yourself, if you find it hard to forgive somebody else, start by practicing gratitude. You can literally just start there. And you can wake up in the morning and say, I'm grateful to be awake this morning. I'm grateful to have food in the fridge. I'm grateful to have a job. I'm grateful to have a cat. I'm grateful to have books to be able to read. You know what I'm saying? Just start with something simple. And as you continue to intrude more gratitude within your life, you will begin to find it in your heart, compassion. You'll begin to feel compassion, which will then plunge you into wanting to not only forgive yourself, but to forgive that person. Because forgiveness tends to literally be about ourselves. We're forgiving that other person so that we can let go. We're forgiving ourselves so that we can let go and move on. Forgiveness is pivotal. Forgiveness, in my personal opinions, ends up being the foundation for healing from trauma. Because trauma can look like anything. I mean, this world is crazy, but it's okay. And we are a part of this world, though. We're connected to each other, we're connected to nature, we're connected to everything that goes on all the time. And if, as long as we continue to forgive ourselves and to send love to ourselves and take that time to go within and to cherish, we are not only raising our vibration and transcending, but we're also sending out those positive vibrations of transcendence to those around us, even our pets, our house belongings, all the energy that is interconnected. We are connected to that, and we are sending out those positive vibrations to that as well. So at the end of the day, I will always come back to the concept of forgiveness. I will always come back to what it means, to what it can look like, to how you can really integrate this into your life. But this, I just wanted to start with a little bit of tidbit of my thoughts recently about forgiveness. And forgiveness, even on a personal tip, is something that I struggled with. I struggled with forgiving myself most of all. And I also struggled with forgiving other people. You know, we all have an attachment to something in some form, 9 times out of 10. So I used to have attachments to relationships or ideas or concepts or how things should have gone, even though they didn't go that way. So when they didn't go that way, I would find a way to either be really mad at the person or really mad at myself and just replay that thought loop. That doesn't help anything. It doesn't help you grow. It doesn't help you learn. And it doesn't help you move on and to just really continue to learn from that lesson and transcend, ascend, teach other people how to do it, whatever it is. Forgiveness is pivotal. And once you even if you feel like you can't forgive, know that you can, and that you feeling like you can't forgive somebody else or that you can't forgive yourself is your own limitation. It is your own mental blockage that you have to undo yourself. You can seek guidance and help. I do have an episode on the podcast about limitations and limiting beliefs, which is going to be linked below. But I definitely recommend giving that a listen if you are having issues with releasing, whether or not it be forgiveness or any other blockages that you may believe be in your body or in your soul or whatever it may be. But I just give it a try. Give forgiveness a try. Forgive yourself. I always recommend if you can just start by forgiving yourself for something that you've been holding on to for a long time, start there. And be very loving and kind with yourself. It may seem hard in the beginning, but keep doing it. Consistency is key, especially when it comes to writing new thought loops into your life, creating new neuron pathways in your brain called neuroplasticity, something else I cover in the Limiting Belief podcast episode. Yeah, that's my tidbit for it now. I will be revisiting this concept and going through more particular exercises and practices to help you enhance your ability to forgive not only yourself, but others and everything around you. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, namaste.